Very pleased to introduce Gerald Celente, his Trends Journal, History Before It Happens. Very interesting read. Gerald, welcome to Winning on Wall Street.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Okay, so give us a little history before it happens.
Well, where do you want to look at? Geopolitics? You look around the world. Thailand, Venezuela.
What's going to happen in Ukraine?
It's a civil war. We wrote about this in January. It was the cover story. There's no end in sight. And the United States, again, I'll make this really clear. I'm a political atheist. I look at things the way they are, not the way I want them to be. And if anybody really wants to see the story of Ukraine, I suggest they consider going to Paul Craig Roberts, paulcraigroberts.org. He was the former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan, and his writings are in the Trends Journal as well. This was fomented by the United States, and anybody, if they want to take the time, all they have to do is go on the Internet, Google in Victoria Nuland, N-U-L-A-N-D, the Assistant Secretary of State, and there she is, December 13th, 2013, not ancient history, at the National Press Club saying that the future of Ukraine is with Europe. They should follow the path set forth by the International Monetary Fund. Now check it out. Over her left shoulder is a big sign sponsored by Chevron. And then we just saw this past week, Hunter Biden, the vice president's son. Right?
Right.
You know about that? Oh, and you know about our Secretary of State, John Kerry, his stepson, Christopher Hines of the Hines Fortune, his roommate and partner, also on the board, Devon Archer of Burisma, the largest energy company in Ukraine. So the United States is behind this, and Europe. They've overplayed their hand. Russia has Crimea. That was the prize that they wanted. There's no end in sight to this. And, by the way, you don't do this kind of action when you have economic instability in the region, because Europe isn't doing so hot.
I know. We're talking to Gerald Celente, his Trends Journal. Go there, trendsjournal.com. Incredible forecasting worldwide. Very, very interesting. Let's talk about your trip to Russia. What happened there?
Oh, no, I didn't go to Russia.
Oh, but you were on the Russian media.
Oh, I'm on Russian media all the time. I'm on Russia Today. I'm on Russian Broadcasting TV. And they let me say whatever I want. So now I get hate mail all the time that I'm anti-American. Well, guess what? The prostitutes in America only want the party line. They don't want to hear anything different. And you go back to the Iraq War. The numbers are there. ABC, CBS, NBC, NPR. It was like something 397 for the war, one opposed, and about 10%, on the fence. So this is propaganda supreme, and it was building up, by the way, before the problems in Ukraine. All you have to do is go back to the Olympics. Hey, they're shooting them dogs over there in Sochi. Right. Hey, don't get on the airplane. Toothpaste bombs. Yeah, how about Tampax missiles? Who can make this stuff up? And then you keep going on. Yellow water. Haven't had the facilities ready yet. Homophobes. And then by the time the Olympics started, 57% of the Americans thought there'd be a terror strike, and the Americans looked at Russia at the lowest point since 1994. So anytime I'm on, the people don't like what they believe in, the indoctrination that they keep shoving down our throats. Let us not forget Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. Hey, isn't it beautiful over there in Libya? You're thinking of going there for vacation this summer? You remember the humanitarian mission by the Nobel Peace Prize winner? So the United States is destabilizing the world. It's one military intervention after another that is costing lives and money and no rewards.
It almost seems like the president has no bearing on the policy. It's coming from somewhere else.
I'll tell you a story. I mentioned Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Assistant Treasury Secretary under Reagan. He could bring in the director of the CIA, and question him under oath. I'm looking at the paper one night, and he called me up. I said, Craig, I'm looking at Obama and his national security team. I said, are these the people actually making the decisions? So to answer your question. And he said, yes. He said, people don't want to admit what they see. They want to think there's something else going behind the scene. Are there deals being done? Oh, sure. He said, all that kind of thing. He said, but the main strategy is coming out of the White House. And we have the inepts and the incompetents. What self-respecting American could look up to Pelosi to Boner, to McConnell to Lindsey Graham, to insane McCain, to Obama? You go up and down the list, man. It's a freak show. I don't know how anybody, everything they do, show me one winner, one thing that they have turned, hey, man, great job. Everything they do, they turn to garbage. They destroy greatness.
Wait, don't forget subsidies to farmers.
Yeah, subsidies to farmers. You look at the number of farmers now. Anybody could look at the chart. 1935 to now, boom. There's a handful of farmers running the whole country, and not only running the agriculture, you have multinationals running everything. 4 words killed America if anybody missed it. Too big to fail. Henry Paulson, former CEO of the Goldman Sachs gang and the head of the U.S. Treasury. Too big to fail. You're the Wall Street show? Hey, in capitalism, there is no such thing as too big to fail. The merger of state and corporate powers, on the other hand, that's called fascism.
That's interesting. Everyone's bashing capitalism, but capitalism isn't allowed to work because the too big to fail is just takes it to a different level.
Exactly. And what they've done, you see, they put laws in place back for the 19th and 20th century so the robber barons wouldn't rape the country and take all the dough for themselves. The Robinson-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act, and, of course, in banking, the Glass-Steagall Act. All of that's been deregulated. And so now, when I was a kid growing up, for a couple of $1,000, you could open up a butcher shop, whatever you wanted to, a shoemaker, a dress shop. Now you can't compete anymore. It's been Targeted, it's been Home Depot, it's been CVS, and just what you were saying, big agriculture, go up and down the list. And it's been taken out of the hands of the United States, which used to be the envy of the world for the land of opportunity, and given to the too big to fails.
But by the way, this is important because what we're doing now with Iraq, Afghanistan, is very similar to what we did in Vietnam, just taking resources away from our population. Our middle class is declining dramatically. We don't have the jobs for them anymore.
You're 100% right. And the Vietnam War was the beginning of the end on this. That's when the United States went off the gold standard in 1971, as the war kept, going on. And so I'm going to be launching something very soon. It's called OccupyPeace.us. It's based on 3 simple words: no foreign entanglements. I'm up here in colonial Kingston, New York, 2 hours north of New York City. The 1777 Senate House is here. This was the first capital of New York. There's more stone buildings here predate the Revolution than anywhere else in the country. Every one of the founding fathers, beginning with Washington's farewell address, no foreign entanglements. Who are these clowns to say, hey, I go to Harvard, I go to Princeton and Yale, Obama, Washington, man, he didn't know anything, either did Franklin. Jefferson was a jerk. Screw Madison and the hell with Adams. I know more than they do. Do you think the world wasn't at war back then? The founding fathers knew the direction this country should go in, and the Democrats and Republicans have taken in a total different direction. After every war, the military used to be nothing.
We got to run. Gerald Celente. Go to his website, trendsjournal.com. Brilliant and incredible. Thanks, Gerald.
Hey, thank you. All the best.